Where do you report your capital gains in TurboTax, your 1099 DIV? We're going to dive into that here today, my friends, at the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe down below, comments, and give me a love, thumbs up if you like what you see. And of course, share the content with others. All right, so let's dive right into this. We're going to look again at my fake tax thing, Joe and Jane Schmo out of the great state of Georgia. We're going to click on the left column where it says federal. We're going to click that guy, and you'll see, of course, the 5 different tabs you have on the top. Wages and income is what we're looking at, because anytime you have something of income coming in, you got to click on wages and income. So let's go down here. Let's get rid of this. We're going to scroll down, and we're going to see all income. We don't have wages and salaries. 1099s are not wages, all right? This is not self-employment. This is not unemployment. It's not other common 1099s, 1099G or 1099 Miss or 1099K. 1099 Miss and 1099K are more for Airbnb, Uber, Lyft drivers, the share economy. But this is interest and dividends. 1099 DIV is what we're looking for. So let's click on the 1099 DIV, all right? And we're going to see what comes up. So what we're going to see is, okay, consolidated tax statement from brokers. Did I receive a 1099-D? And if I received either or both, we want to click on yes, I did. All right, so what it's going to ask us is, we're just going to type it in ourselves. We're going to say, I'll type it in myself. Now, they can always import it for you, and you should just do that. Make it easy, let them import it. But we're just going to say receive from, and we're going to say receive $10,000 of qualified dividends. All right, and we're going to say we have 9,000 of that was no, excuse me. I need to go. No, don't go back. There we go. Qualified dividends let's see, $9,000 of qualified dividends, $10,000 of ordinary dividends, and we're going to say we had $5,000 of capital gains. All right, now I was going to say this to belong to both of us. And we're going to click on here. If we can do that. There we go. All right. So let's see what we got here. No, they did not provide an federal employer ID. Portion of these dividends is U.S. government interest. Say no. I need to adjust it. No, it's not an employee stock ownership plan. Nope. And state income taxes were withheld. Nope. And we're going to say none of these apply. All right. So let's see what happens. You should. Oh, wait a second. Oh. I messed up. Hold on just a second. I got to go back. I put box. I put something in wrong. All right, let's go back here. We got put Vanguard. We're going to say receive them from Vanguard. Yeah, there we go. So our total ordinary dividends was $10,000, of which qualified dividends was $9,000. So there we go. So we just got to change that over. And we're going to say, no, they didn't send a federal employer identification number. None of these apply, as we talked about before. All right. And so what happens there, do we have any more dividend income from someplace else? No. Now, before we do that, I want to go back and show you something, because they're saying they have capital gains. All right, so I want to show you something here. If you have a 1099 DIV with capital gains, that's different than a capital gain of making a sale of a stock. All right, that's different. And let me show you from the IRS. 1099 div showing a capital gain. This is directly from the IRS website. I received a 1099 DIV showing a capital gain. Why do I have to report capital gains from my mutual fund if I never sold any shares? The answer, a mutual fund is a regulated investment company that pools funds of investors, allowing them to take advantage of a diversity of investments and professional asset management. You own shares of the mutual fund, but the fund owns capital assets such as the shares of stocks, blah, blah, blah. One of the ways the fund makes money for you is to sell these assets at a gain. If the mutual fund held a capital gain for more than 1 year, the nature of the income is capital gain, and the mutual fund passes it on to you as a capital gain distribution. Form 1099 DIV, dividends and distributions, distinguishes this from other types of income, such as ordinary dividends. Consider capital gain distributions as long-term gains, no matter how long you've owned shares of the mutual fund. Basically what they're saying, report the amounts in box 2A from form 1099 DIV online, blah, blah, blah. Right. So basically they're saying if you receive a 1099 DIV and it has a number in that box 2A, that is going to be assumed as a long-term capital gain. Does that make sense? So if you receive that you just put it in there. You put it into box 2A, tax capital gain, total capital gain distribution. That is from a mutual fund, and that is considered a long-term capital gain. Now, this is completely separate from selling a stock for a gain or a loss. I mean, I cannot stress this enough. This is completely separate than actually making a stock sale. This is just from mutual funds that you did not necessarily sell. You just got a 1099 DIV that includes capital gain distributions. I hope that makes sense. So we continue on, and we are done there. So we are done with what we have to do for mutual funds. All right. So basically 1099 DIV, if you think about it, is more going to be commonplace for mutual fund transactions, for dividends and for capital gains within the mutual fund. All right. So here's the dividend info we have so far. Now I'm going to show you, though, what happens if we sell a individual stock. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about here today as well. So we talk about 1099 DIV. What happens if we sell a stock? Where do we go? So we go down here, investment income, with 1099 B or broker statements. So let's take a look at that. Did I click on that? I think I did. And we're going to say stock, bond, or mutual funds that we're selling for we'll just say a gain or a loss. So we're going to say we sold a specific position. Did you sell any investments in 2018? Yes, we did. Click on here, and guess what happens? Because you sold investments, you need to upgrade to TurboTax Live Premier to continue. And right now that upgrade costs $139.99. So this is if you sell a stock, a bond, or a mutual fund for a gain where you have to use Schedule D because you have capital gains, short-term and or long-term, in various circumstances in that regard of the transaction. If you did not make a sale, but instead you just have a mutual fund distribution, you don't need this. So we're going to go back because this is not for us. I hope that makes sense. So two things going on. You got a mutual fund. It has a 1099 DIV. What do you do with it? You just put it on this form we just showed you right here with TurboTax, and you put on total dividends, of which how much of those total were qualified. And the form was going to tell you the 1099D. Very simple. Then you take the box from 2A, which is your capital gain. And again, if it's in that box, it is assumed to be long-term capital gain. Dump, put it in here, and you are done, my friend. So that's all you do to put your capital gains from mutual funds on a 1099 DIV. And if you're going to have a capital gain from an individual sale of a mutual fund stock or bond, you can't use TurboTax Live Deluxe. You got to upgrade. I hope this helps. As always, subscribe, comments, give me a thumbs up, and share this video with others. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.